I can't tell you the energy and passion that I have as I move back to these. Let's see, Jim called them delicious. These delicious displays and what we're going to talk about today and show you today, I wanted to kind of back it up just for a moment and talk about why. Because a great global brand like Sharp, there's a huge expectation for excellence, a huge expectation that we will be able to, and this is the language, service the imagination of consumers, service the imagination of the merchants in the retail stores, and mostly service the imagination of the delicious eye bites with Hollywood. So if you think about the three businesses left from a consumer electronics business, and correct me later if I'm wrong, there's only three businesses left. There is the ability to deliver, so ADSL, satellite, cable, any way that we can get our content is the first business. The second business is the content business. Everything from Netflix to what we get on Android to streaming to content of your own photos. And the third business is the first inch through a piece of glass. And the part that we've been all waiting for in servicing the imagination, when I say service the imagination, our goal is to allow you to think that you're actually on the football field and you're getting hit while you're watching TV. Our servicing imagination says that the director and the producer in Hollywood, who might have spent 3 years to develop a movie, they are looking to deliver the imagination and unleash great emotional capital, which is what they sell. And finally, we're at a place, and I've talked informally about it, I think we're in a replacement business. 3D went by, we can stand and deliver all day, why it didn't work, but we're finally in what I would call the upgrade replacement business. Having said that, don't take my word for it. We did a multitude of research with our retailers, a multitude of research with consumers worldwide, and third-party syndicated research. So for example, Gap Intelligence, which you know is an organization that goes into retail stores, announced that so far year to date in 2015, 60% of all TVs on every retail floor is smart. So number one, we have to have smart TVs if we're going to go out there and service imagination. Number two, there's an organization called IHS Research that does global research on movements of television. They announced that there's a whopping 400% increase in TV shipments for 4K year over year, worth about 5 million units so far. Number three, and this is where the fun begins, because I talked about the three levels, right, of content, the first inch through a piece of glass, and somehow getting the content there. IDC just announced that for the first quarter of 2015, and I want you to think about this with squinting eyes and squinting ears as you walk around and look at the, Jim calls it delicious displays, that 337 million smartphones were shipped by vendors, smartphones shipped by vendors, by brands, worldwide. 78, that's number 7 and number 8, 78% utilize the Android platform. Consumers have spoken, they voted with their pocketbooks, they voted with devices that they're looking through the first inch piece of a glass, and Android is the platform of choice. Having said that, and finally, if you look at what's happening in our market, we're in about a $17.5 billion TV market in the United States. About $5 billion in 2014, which, as Jim said, 13% of the units and 30% of the revenue in 2015 in our home country will be 4K ultra high definition. So having said that, we know that brand is a promise. Brand is a metal you must shine every day. But brands in our business is about servicing imagination, whether it's a headphone, whether it's a smartphone, whether it's a glowing device that we call the language of Sharp Aquos television. So we're very fired up, as Jim suggested, that we have an entire line, 9 brand new units. Jim asked me to actually talk about what's going on in retail. Are we in retail? I'll talk about it in a moment. But I wanted to just kind of go through it a little bit deeper than Jim did. So our first level, which is called the UB. Now, I wasn't sure what B stood for, but I told Jim I think B stands for better. It's much better than full HD. And should I suggest it's much better than our competition? Well, don't quote me on that, but I kind of think it is. And we have 4 models. We have a 43-inch entry model, We have a 50-inch, we have a 55 and a 65 in our first run through of 4K ultra high definition TVs. And by the way, they all come with something called Smart Central. Smart Central is a intelligent navigation user interface that you can either use on your remote control, or as Jim suggested, and if you test me, I actually have Smart Central on my phone, so I'm with Sharp. You can navigate across satellite, you can navigate through streaming, you can actually set up preferences. It's very, very nice. And by the way, the entry price, as Jim suggested, is $599. So being a market maker, which is Sharp is known for over time, and being a company that recognizes the power of what's happening with 4K ultra high definition for consumers, and believing we're in a replacement market, we wanted to make sure that all consumers could come in and start to feel the flavor and the delicious eye views of 4K through Sharp. Our next level is called the UE. I actually call UE 30 the unique and excellent Sharp Aquas. And believe it or not, imagine in your step up, we're talking a 60-inch, a 70-inch, and an 80-inch. Now here's where Android comes in. On this platform, we're engineering the entire 60, 70, and 80 with the Android platform, and I won't stand and deliver on all the benefits, but you know the benefits, you know the content downloads, you know the speeds and feeds, you know the voice activation that comes available to ask to go see Seinfeld as opposed to searching for it. And above and beyond that, we have something called aqua dimming. Aqua dimming, which we're going to demonstrate today. In fact, there's our big stand and deliver on aqua dimming on our LC70U830U. Aqua dimming allows you to see the darkest moments of any movie with the highest clarity possible in the industry. And what that simply means is if you ever watched a movie and somebody is cowering over in the corner, that's not what the director wanted you to see. He wanted you to see he was cowering and smiling and actually see the lines in his jacket. We're going to deliver that today. We step up one more level, and now we go to what we call our UH series, affectionately known as our Hero, UH for Hero series. And now, again, it's a 70 and 80-inch 4K ultra high definition, delicious eye bites of content, but we're servicing the imagination with a special engine called Spectros. Spectros will deliver a 21% wider color spectrum than in conventional LCD TV, 21% wider. So when you see the demonstration, I'm glad we turned it off because I want you to have the shock and awe when you see it. Watch the greens, watch the reds. They're vibrant, they're strong, and if you ever felt like you were going to actually reach into the TV and become part of the action in a football game or in a movie, this is the time to look at it with Spectros. On our 70-inch TV, we went through some incredible testing that others who we compete with did not win the golden goose, if you will. And the golden goose was to get THX certification on our 70-inch ultra high definition UH series. And what that simply means is we had to go through 400 tests, over 1,000 different speeds and feeds, looks and feels, and we won that award. So if you really want to see and service the imagination at the highest levels, take a look at our UH series Spectros with THX on our 70-inch, and I think that you will agree with me, feels pretty good. Now, I'm a really good guy. Jim's a really good guy. Our whole team at Sharp are some of the nicest, hardest working, caring people that I've ever met with, and I'm honored to work with. And the only reason I say that is the courage that we have to come up here and meet with you. We're really honored that you're here. Be very clear, your voice and the way you view us is extremely important to the future of our brand and the future of our company. And as merchants have told us, come on Sharp, be stronger, faster, and quicker. And consumers are voting because we have the reputation of having the highest quality in products and technologies and TVs, and our panels have been applauded for many, many years. We're now going to congeneer, and we are now going to be a market maker in 4K ultra high definition TV. And all that bravado simply means, Peter, that's me, where are you being assorted right now? Have the merchants voted with their pocketbooks? Have the merchants moved space for you on their shelves? Have the consumers said, thank goodness that you're available out there? And the answer to the question is yes. So right now, today, as we're speaking, and by the way, we could have done the press release, we could have asked you to come see us 2 months ago or 3 months ago. My view was always, and Jim agreed, and it was his view, we wanted to make sure we were actually in the marketplace, that we were just landing there now. So some of the TVs are just landing on the shelf now. Some were already physically on the shelf. So you can find us at Best Buy. You can find us on Amazon. You can find us at PC Richard. You can find us at Nebraska Furniture Mart. You can find us at Sam's Club. You can find us at Conn's, H.H. Gregg. Look around, you'll see us assorted very brightly, very strongly. The Sharp brand is very strong. We're very fired up, and we intend, with humility, with courage, and with being very smart, and should I say it, Jim? Very sharp. I could have done that about 10 times and you all would have been, all right, enough with it. Very sharply, we will hit the marketplace, and I hope you root for us. I hope you like what you see today. Thank you for taking the time to come and take a look. But we're really fired up, and we think it is a huge opportunity for all of us in the consumer electronics business, but especially for Sharp, our consumers, our merchants, and the future of the company. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and let's go ahead and start taking a look. Thank you.